a woman politician, how do you think people in Sri Lanka view women in politics?
When a woman politician coming to, to this field, even male politicians, they also think the women are so dumb, they don't understand politics, they don't know how to do this. It's a man's job.
So they underestimate women.
Yes, women they have to prove each and every time, all the time, that they are capable. That's very unfortunate. So I have seen my colleagues, who, sometimes they were very uncomfortable. They will have sexist jokes and, discrimination, even in the workplace. Just imagine being a politician, being discriminated as a politician. What about, there's no point of talking about other professions there.
Behind this tough exterior, people always see you as someone who's very bold, who's fearless and tough. Who really is Hirunika?
I'm very blunt about anything. I'm very emotional. All those things that you see in social media or on television, that's all me. Some people say it's an act and all that. I get so mad because I'm emotional. I get so angry at the police or the injustice or all these politicians or
because you
these
take
leaders.
This very personal.
People say that being a politician to be very diplomatic on all that. Why? You can't have two faces. You have two faces. What you see now, what you see
is what you get.
What you get. So if being diplomatic means that not being like
it's not being real, you're saying.
Exactly.
Right.
If people say that the way you talk is harsh, this is how I talk. I also have a very sensitive side.
Joining me today in this episode is a lady who needs no introduction. Despite the fact that she was a politician's daughter, her journey in politics has not been easy. Now, politics is never easy, but it's always more challenging for a woman. It would be right for me to say that she's bold, brave, and fearless. Joining me today in Conversations with Alanki is the ever so courageous Hirunika Premachandra. Welcome.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you.
Well, I've always found you to be someone who's what you see is what you get sort of a person.
True that.
So today's conversation is not just confined to politics, but let's talk politics first. You have been very involved in the SJB. What role do you play in the SJB these days?
Currently, I'm the national organizer in SVB, Samagi Vanitha Balavegya. That's the women's wing. And also recently, I was appointed as the chairman of private sector union, trade unions.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm balancing the titles, and also I'm the organizing Kaduwela electorate.
Right.
So quite busy with politics. So I think with the developments right now in the country, probably an election will probably like end of this year, maybe beginning of next year, there will be definitely a general election we'll have to contest. So.
Right. That's interesting that you actually mentioned the elections. So when you talk about elections, this actually reminds me of the time during the Aragalaya where you were very active in it and you played a key role. And you even protested that the current president at that time that he should leave. So if you had to go back in time, who do you think would have been the best to lead the country?
Lead the country?
Yes.
Obviously, since I'm a member of SJB, I would say my leader, Sajith Premadasa. But at that time, I was not, my main focus was like give whoever the person who is going to lead the country should, people should choose that person. So that's why we always demanded an election, because it was such a chaos back then.
Yeah.
And then people really needed a change. So rather than 134 people selecting a president, even Ranil Wickremesinghe should have given that opportunity to to people. I think that's actually what everyone demanded.
So obviously you're aware about Channel 4's documentary on
Yes.
the Easter attack in Sri Lanka, which reveals very disturbing information as to how officials close to the Rajapaksas are linked to the bombings.
Yes.
What are your views on this? How do you
Alanki,
see
even
this?
on the way I was talking to my friend, I watched this documentary, the whole documentary in the morning. After that, I feel like there's something is just stuck in my throat. I don't know. I mean, my gut. It's very overwhelming, very emotional. And I can't believe how can anyone in this world, I mean, come into power like that. I mean, just a human being's life, someone's life can be this. I mean, how can a person just put through like 100, 200, 300 people, I mean, human beings, citizens in his country to come into power? It's very unfortunate. And if this is true, I don't think that Channel 4 wouldn't, I mean, they do investigative journalism. Unlike Sri Lanka, most of the channels just, go after rumors and all that. But those countries, mainly channels like Channel 4 and, Sky News and all those channels, they are quite, their journalism is completely different to ours. And I think they wouldn't put out that video without any evidence, without any solid evidence. So now it's a good chance to the current president, because back then it happened in our government, right?
Indeed.
And even back then he was the prime minister, and people pointed fingers at him also. I think he has a golden opportunity now to show people that where he stands, he has only two options now: either protect these people or start a criminal investigation. Okay, now there are a main character is intelligence director Saleh. So now this current president is the one who extended his
his
post, right? Now the only thing he can do, just suspend him till the investigations are over, and he can tell the world, tell the people, and mainly Catholics, Christians who were affected, the families, now I'm just standing still. I'm going to justice will be prevailed. I'm going to do justice for you. He has to. Otherwise, if he just start these parliament committees and all that, it's just useless. How many parliamentary committees
and so much time has lapsed.
And also the today in the morning, a journalist asked me, so how do you believe this channel? Okay, forget about the channel, will you? Now, back then, when Gotabaya Rajapaksa was the president, there were a document about this Easter bomb attack, right? And that in that document, there are evidence where these extremists, these Saharans, and all the intelligent people, they had connections. They had phone calls, phone conversations, and they had a connection for few years. That evidence in that document, but Gotabaya Rajapaksa never revealed that. He never allowed to reveal that. So we can start from there now. So at least to start that's all. At the moment, all the affected families, all of them want, they can't get their loved one back, right? So all they want right now is some kind of a closure, answers. Not even answers, I would say, closure. So if president really, he's really thinking about some kind of a political, future, if he thinks he's going to run for another term, this is a golden opportunity. Only two options: either takes the side of the people or side of the Rajapaksas.
Indeed. And I hope justice prevails, because so many hundreds actually have lost their lives due to this tragic incident. And I personally feel, like you said, this happened in the Yahapalne government. And I feel like both sides are trying to play the blame game, where one party accuses the other. But I feel equally, the government back then was also responsible, because there were so many warnings issued.
Exactly, and they didn't care.
There
Even
was a serious
the
failure.
previous president, he never took this seriously. And I mean, they were having issues with each other, like the prime minister and the president. President wouldn't go away to the council, and the prime minister, he would never allow the prime minister to come in. So these are these are very silly things.
And they're not
when you're running a
excuses.
country,
Absolutely.
you can't just run a country like a husband and wife. So that's what I'm saying. So they're also equally responsible for these attacks, obviously.
Supposing we go for an election, which party do you think which party or who would get the most support from people?
Next election, it's very, any party, even SJB, we can't get 113. Even SJB, JVP, nobody. It has to be a coalition government. We will get about 70 to 80 seats. That's my math. I don't know, but I think that will happen. And Pohottuwa wouldn't, for another, I think Nama Rajapaksa is their next leader. That's how they portray him. But it'll take for another 20-25 years. But now I think the next election will be the messiest election, the parliamentary election. And it will be the parliament will be the messiest parliament. Because there will be now, if you take SJB, Kumaravelgama, Parli Champikaranavaka, all those people are in different platforms now. They've just started new parties. And in Pohottu, I don't know how many, like they have about, 10 to 15 parties now. They've just, the Vimal Viravanshi is in another party, Gammampili is in another party, and Nalaka Godeva and all those people are in another party. So there's that. And UMPs also, we can't say right now how many seats they will get. But in future, in the next election, there will be people from different parties. It will be very messy and it will be very difficult to handle. So that definitely that will happen, because even SJB can't get majority, that for sure. But if SJB and JVP and other parties will get together, then we can have some kind of a hope, but that won't happen. So, but the thing is, current president, he, as I always say, is very smart. Next election, if that happens, he'll get the best out of that. He'll get he'll be the one who's deciding who will be the prime minister, and he'll be the designing point, I would say.
All right, those are interesting views. Before we move on to a different side of the interview, I'd just like to know, as a young politician, we were just talking about the economic hardships that people face. What do you suggest we do to overcome this, at least in the short run?
It's very difficult, as I said before, short run. But first of all, now if you take USA, UK, those developed countries, they all have a national policy. We as a country, now we eat rice 3 meals a day, right? We eat rice 3 meals a day, and we don't have a proper policy for rice prices. At least we don't know. Every term we'll just every term we are pricing the rice, right? Rice price. So we don't even have that kind of a method, some kind of a program. Our main food, main food is rice. We eat rice 3 meals a day, at least to have some kind of policy on that at least. No, we don't. So that's what I'm saying. We should have a national policy. Like in USA, whatever the government comes into power, the policy, the economic policy would never change.
It would never change. It would
never change.
continue.
It will continue. So here in our country, what happens is now one government will start a project,
but it's never continued.
It never continues. Just imagine the billions of money, just waste of billions of money. No, it's very unfortunate. We just we start. We have in Yapalna government. We started good projects, with Japan and Singapore, but these people never continued.
So you're saying when the party changes, they don't really continue and go ahead.
And also waste of money. So at least whoever comes into power next time should, we are talking about system change. The system will change automatically when people change. The politicians will change automatically when people change. People, it's up to people. Now we always say that all these corrupted politicians they never lose. They're always in the parliament.
But it's the people who bring them to power.
So if you really want a respectable parliament, give chances to respectable people. I wouldn't say not only youth. We need to have more youth involvement in politics. But Alanki, when you were in your 20s, we were a bit selfish. We were not compassionate like this. But eventually when we started politics and, when we get involved in this social work and when we talk to people, then gradually we felt compassionate toward people and all that. So it's not only, you can't just take just a young, when you see see youth or when you see young people, we can't just ask them to get into politics. It doesn't matter the age. You need to have compassion. I always say this earlier, long time ago. Only 2M matters. First one is muscle and then money. Back then, if you have muscle, not literally, but when you're strong, when you have muscle and money, you can do politics. But it's had completely changed because we're in a new era. Now there should be three M's: myth, method, and magic. Okay, you need to have that myth about you. You need to tell the people who you are, and you need to have a method. You can't only, you need to have policies, what you're trying to do in future, what your method is, and then the magic. The magic happens when you go and talk with people. You communicate with people. Then people will understand how compassionate you are and all that. But that also will change in future. So at the moment, money and muscle doesn't matter anymore. And also back then, people were very ignorant. People only had newspaper or the television. We were told to,
we were told what to believe.
Yeah, what to believe. We were told to, yeah. But now, it's not like that. We have social media and everything, and people have a voice. Back then, when you read a newspaper or television or something like that, you don't have a voice. You just look at it. You just watch it. But now, with social media, you can put out what you really think about anything, right? Or even politics. So I think the era has changed. We are dealing with Z-Gen. Now, back then, everybody was, scared of politicians. Now they don't care. Mainly these young people, if you take, now I normally face that a lot. They take you, sometimes they just, take you as a joke. Say sometimes they joke about you. That has happened to me. Either you become a meme, you need to have that, you need to chill out, you need to have that sense of humor in you to understand and, communicate with that in a very chilled out manner. But back then, that's the thing. When you do politics, most of the politicians, they have a big ego. because they know they're from different backgrounds, political background, and they're not willing to compromise. But now you can't, not even in politics, you can't work with that ego. They don't take,
Obviously, things have changed over time.
Yeah, they don't take anything seriously. They understand well. They have more. I mean, they are very intelligent, so you can't take that. You
can't have the same attitude.
And take that for granted. Also,
I totally agree with you on that. Moving on to a different segment of the interview. Everyone sees you as a politician, but obviously you're a wife, a daughter, and a mother of 3 children. How challenging is it to be a full-time politician and to be a hands-on mother?
It's very difficult when you are a father. I mean, my father was a politician. He was a really good father, but he never. I mean, we only see him early in the morning when we go to sleep, when we go to school, and again we'll see him when we go to sleep. He was very attached to us, but he was hardly there. Our house was a public place. We didn't have a private life. You will see people in the kitchen area, in our sitting room, in our rooms. It was like that. So I'm very used to it. But now I've decided that since I'm a female politician, I'm not going to be like my father in terms of, but the thing is, Alanki, when you're a female politician, you have to do politics, you have to be the wife, you have to be the daughter and the mother. The most difficult part is being a mother, because I have very young children, young kids, and they need attention all the 24/7. It's difficult. I have to, now today, the school has started, my eldest is in grade 1. I wake up at 5. I wake them up, feed them, bathe them, and then, change them. And then I go to school with them, 3 of them, the other 2 are in the Montessori. And then I go drop them off. I stay till they finish their school, or at that for 2-3 hours I have a free time. I normally do my politics in that 2-3 hours, and then go back to school, pick them up, come home, do their homework, again feed them, because it's very difficult. And with that I do politics. They normally go to sleep at around 6:37. After 7, what I do is I just hand them over to my husband. Then after 7 I go out to do politics, because we can't miss them. We have to go to funerals in my electorate. I live in my electorate, so it's easier, and do meetings. It's very difficult, Alanki, but somehow I manage, because being a mother, people think, oh no, don't take that into your head. Let them be, and also go with the flow. That's I know. I never take everything seriously. I never take anything seriously. That's really helped me to, grow as a mother.
How do you think, being a woman politician, how do you think people in Sri Lanka view women in politics?
Mostly people, I think it has changed a bit. But when a woman politician come into, to this field, even male politicians, they also think the women are so dumb, they don't understand politics, they don't know how to do this. It's a man's job.
So they underestimate women.
Yes. But, women have, they have to prove each and every time, all the time, that they're capable. That's very unfortunate. I had to go through with that. See, in my case, I am very blunt. I just say whatever I feel like saying, and I just shut them off. But there are women politicians who never just go back and talk back. So I have seen my colleagues who, sometimes they were very uncomfortable. They will have sexist jokes and, discrimination, even in the workplace. Just imagine being a politician, being discriminated as a politician. What about, there's no point of talking about other professions then. So, yes, it's difficult, but we've witnessed New Zealand Prime Minister, a lady, And you know that I watched a few interviews of Finland's prime minister. She's only now she's about in her 40s, but when she became a prime minister, she was about 33, younger than me actually. Just imagine. So the support she got from the I mean people, not even from her party. The entire country supported her. She's very blunt. She's very straightforward. She is one of the leaders who directly questioned Putin even now. So I think it's about time that we change. We have so many, like now I'm working with women who are really interested in getting into politics. You know, young girls. Why they're very scared because they're scared of mud singling, or I've faced all of that,
For sure.
and I'm a great example of all of that. But I always tell them, if you know you're right, if you know what you're doing is right, it doesn't matter. People have called me every word, every bad word in the world, but they've never pointed fingers at me saying that you stole our money, you stole public money, you have corruption allegations. No. So I'm very happy about that. So that's the only thing. That's, even if a young woman really wanted to get into politics, never ruin your name, no, never put yourself into those kind of bad situations, mainly corruptions. Doesn't matter character, I mean mud singling and all those things, that doesn't matter.
How you deal with it? Does it
I
hurt
started
you? Does it hurt
actually
you
when
people
I
say stuff?
started politics when I was 24, 12 years ago. I was a very young. I was living in a bubble. My father never allowed me to, get into politics back then. I just finished my studies and came back to Sri Lanka. And as soon as my father passed away, everyone in his electorate and everyone, they all said, you should come forward. I'm completely against father daughter after father,
Sure.
family politics. I hated that, even back then, even now. I had to come into politics under different circumstances, but the thing is, I never encouraged that. And also, I mean, it was very difficult for me because my father was not alive. I mean, he was not
sure.
there for me, and I did everything by myself. Now, after a politician, because he's sick or he's old, a son or a daughter will, he'll just promote
Obviously,
the son or the
different
daughter. But he's still
experience.
there to help that
Support,
person,
yes.
out. But I never had that help. The only help I had was my father back then. He was in Mahajana party. He was, arrested. He was in prison. He was in prison for like so many years. Naxalite problems and all that back then when Vijay Kumar Tunga was there, and he had about like he literally, there were like people inside my house. I mean, I was only 1 year old, and there were people, I mean, came to shoot him and all that. I can't remember those days, but I can remember when Chandrika Bandaranaike was the president. She lost her eye that day. My father was the one who organized the Boralla meeting, and when I was about to go out to go to school with the uniform and all that, I saw my father was coming inside the house with the blood and flesh and everything, so I still can remember. I was shocked. I said, "What happened to you?" He said, "It's not my blood. Don't worry. You go to school." So those memories were not
Not easy.
He went through a lot, but he made that path for me. That path was really difficult, but he made a much easy path for me. So it was easy to go in that path, but still with my father's court case, and it was difficult.
For sure.
Comparing to other, politicians, son or daughter, it was difficult for me. But somehow back then, your question was how I managed to be strong or whatever. Back then, I'm a very emotional person. I was very upset And I always thought, why do I get all this hatred and all that? We always focus on hate. I never understood that, because back then, when you look at your Facebook comments, you will see so many hearts and love and all that, but the only one hate comment, you think about that. That's how I gradually changed my mind. It's okay, people, you can't, you know, not everyone, I mean, even you might have haters. Everyone wouldn't like you. You have at least have 10, 20, 50, 100 people who doesn't, I mean, who hate you, but doesn't matter. There are thousands of people who likes you. So
you
I mean,
focus on the
focus
good.
on the positive. So that's how I changed my mind and my thoughts and my attitudes. That has completely changed my personality. So now I really don't care. Even recently, you know that I had to face so many like personal problems also because of these phone recording and all that. But I thought, it doesn't matter, because I know who I am. Mainly my husband, he knows who I am. So I don't, the only validation I want from my family, no, I don't want any validation who I mean people who I don't even know.
Right.
Right?
So moving on to the final question. I think it will be interesting for our audience to know now, behind this tough exterior, people always see you as someone who's very bold, who's fearless and tough. Who really is Hirunika? I mean, is there any side of you that you think people don't know about? And they don't often see, because they often see you fighting for injustice. They see you as someone who's very tough.
You first started that you get what you see. That's completely true. I am I'm very blunt about anything. I'm very I'm very emotional. All those things that you see in social media or on television, that's all me. That's some people say it's an act and all that. I get so mad because I'm emotional. I get so angry at the police or the injustice or all these politicians or
Because you
these
take things
leaders.
very personally.
Exactly. See, after watching this channel for interview, it still haunts me. I watch it in the morning, but still it's just in my, it's I don't know, it's in my head in a very, it's very sad to even think of it. Those mothers, those fathers, what they're going through. So I think because of that, I take everything to heart. That's what you see in these protests and all that. That authenticity.
So so if you're saying if people see you angry, it's because you're genuinely angry.
Exactly.
Right.
And people say that being a politician to be very diplomatic on all that. Why? I mean, you can't have two-faced. You had two faces. What you see now, what you see
is what you get.
What you get. So if being diplomatic means that not being like
it's not being real, you're saying.
Exactly.
Right.
If people say that the way you talk is harsh, this is how I talk. But I also have a very sensitive side. I don't talk like this. I mean, with everyone I see. But in a political meeting, my speeches are different. I talk, my tone of my voice is different. But in a professional meeting, it's different. With my family, my friends, it's different. What I'm saying is that if being diplomatic is being not being yourself, I don't want that.
You don't want it.
So
you rather be yourself.
Yeah, and maybe people don't like me. It's okay. You can either like me or not. It's completely up to the person who. I mean, obviously you can judge me. I'm a political personnel and I'm a public figure. People can judge me. It's completely it's okay. But I can't correct everyone, Alanki. Now I can't say, I'm like this. You have to understand. I can't do that. I mean, it's okay. Eventually, people will understand what kind of person I am, because I'm definitely going to continue politics. I will resign from politics when I don't enjoy politics.
Right.
And when I'm not capable of doing what I can do right now. because I don't want to sit in the parliament snoring. I don't want to do that, right? I mean, I also want to have my private life to enjoy, to have a cup of coffee, like have a cup of, I mean, have a wine glass, have a good chat with my husband. I also want that, but I will do that when,
when you feel like
when
you've had enough.
yeah, I had enough, and also I want to create a legacy. I want to. I mean, now, if you take Gamini Dissanayake, people still talk about him. When you talk about Mahaweli, the name comes up is Gamini Dissanayake. When you talk about Mahapoli Shishatte, Lalita Tulat Mudri. I want to do something like that, so that even when after I die, people will talk about me and the good things that I've done, and that's how you be immoral, right? And I hopefully I can, because there are 52% of women in this country. I need to, I mean, do something good for women and children. So let's see in future it will happen. But I'm not. I'm a very emotional person. I'm just like කියන සෝඩා බෝතලේ වගේ මේ තරහ යනවා එවලෙම ඉවර වෙනවා. And I believe in positive thoughts. I believe in manifestation. I believe in, only thing I believe in, I'm a Buddhist. I pray whenever I can. But every day, I thank the universe for this life. Every day in the morning, before I, get out of the bed, first thing what I say is, I'm so grateful for this life. I'm so grateful for my family, my friends, my children, and this life. It has completely changed me. For last couple of years, I've been doing that. It has changed me as a person, and I think my attitudes toward life has completely changed. I've realized that no matter how hard you work, or how fast you run, end of the day, the peace of mind, that's very important. So now I focus on work as well, but now I focus more on self, reflection and, those things.
Right.
So positive thoughts and all that. Yeah.
All right. That was a very insightful and interesting conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Being so busy, being a mother, and still making time for this conversation.
And also, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you. We need to, I mean, I don't know if you have time, but I need to tell people about you. I think you're a star, not because of the YouTube and all that. As a person, as an entrepreneur, and as a independent woman, I just love what you do, and you have a great, even in YouTube, I've seen there's no bad comments or nothing about you. People love you, and I think it's because your character. It just reflects your smile, and your true self reflects from your smile.
Thank you so much.
I want to thank you for doing all this. And also, we actually wanted to do this like years ago.
For some time now, but it was so hard to get through to you.
And thank you so much for inviting me, and keep up the good work. I just love what you do. I think people like you should get into politics.
I totally admire you. Like you said, it's about keeping things real, and that's what you have been doing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you, Alanki.
I do hope our viewers enjoyed this conversation. And before I say goodbye, I would like to say you have a fire in your heart, and I hope you keep it shining.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for watching. I'll be back with a new episode. Until then, stay safe, take care, and God bless.